Hey there, and welcome to Large Format Friday. I'm your host, Matt Marrash. If this is the first time you're stopping by, welcome to the channel and welcome to season 2 of this show. You can watch the entire first season right here, and I'm also going to start a playlist today for everything following today's episode. It's inevitable that there's going to be recurring themes throughout this channel, but one that I haven't expressed yet that I want to, so everybody kind of knows where I'm coming from here, is why I shoot large format photography. And it's also something I want everybody to think about and let me know about. Why do you shoot large format? You've got a big camera, these big lenses, big, expensive, sometimes way too expensive pieces of film that you're loading into the camera. The one thing I always hear folks say, you don't even know if it's gonna turn out. Well, hopefully you get to a point where you do know that it's gonna turn out, but there's always that little doubt. There's always that human error. There's that personal aspect to it where, yeah, it might not. But why? Why do you do this? Why do you put yourself through this? There's so many easier ways, right? You've got a smartphone. Why don't you just take pictures on your smartphone? You know, it's such an easy argument to make. You can say that to anything. Why would you brew your own coffee? There's a Starbucks around the corner. Why would you make your own workbench? You can just go buy, like you can, there's always a convenience version of things, and there's always a handmade reason for doing things. I got into photography initially as digital, and film was this unique alternative. I grew up with film, but like I didn't shoot film. I've not always been a photographer. I kind of got into this in my 20s. So my influences weren't photographic before then, they were technology. But as kind of a foil to the technological side of things, I latched onto film, and large format even more so. Even though there's so many things that can go wrong between the time that I load up a sheet of film in the holder to the time I expose it or bring it back into the dark and work on it, there's all of these times where I myself am interacting with the picture. Whether it turns out or not, it's on me. And that gives me a deeper connection to the picture. I know that sounds cheesy, but I really am. I'm involved in the entire process. And that's something I love about large format photography. It makes me feel like something has been made. I don't really have a lot of skill when it comes to drawing or painting. I can play like brass instruments, but I haven't in years. So the only real like artistic-ish talent I have is with one of these cameras. So I kind of latch onto that connection. And photography is one of the hobbies, the few hobbies that I've been doing, you know, for more than a decade. So a considerable chunk of my life I've been into it. So some of it's inertia. So I've been doing it, I might as well keep doing it, or discovering other things in it. But I think the slower pace of large format appeals to me a lot. The handcrafted sort of process there. I can really do like super convenient stuff. I can shoot black and white and modern color and send it off to a lab, or I can try this crazy emulsion or make my own emulsion and load it into the camera and do all the things I need to do there. So there's this experimentation kind of value in large format for me as well. But Matt, you can't just be about the process. Baloney. You're allowed to like large format for any number of reasons. For me personally, it's the personal aspect. It's the fact that I'm hands-on with this camera. I know it like the back of my hand at this point. It's actually a really simple device. But when I'm working with this tool and I'm looking at a ground glass where everything's upside down and backwards, it's just how I'm used to seeing things at this point. It helps me compose an image. If I'm looking at something just right in front of me, it doesn't have the same feeling as when I put the camera between myself and the subject and I can see things differently. It gives me a chance to take a step back and appreciate things and organize things. Is there a way I could probably do this more conveniently or cheaply? Yeah, I'm sure there is. Well, maybe not cheaply, but I'm sure there's a more convenient way to do what this thing does. But it also might lose something in that process too. I had a really in-depth discussion with a customer of mine the other day who had recently purchased a high-end medium format camera, and he's loving it. It's awesome. Gobs of megapixels, all the resolution you could possibly ever have. And I got to thinking myself, like, wow, that would be really cool. 100 megapixels, I can use all these digital lenses on it, and I can shoot tons of pictures and they're gonna have all the same resolution and I don't have to worry about scanning and dust. And then I started looking at samples because that's like my thing. I get excited about something and I go into research mode and I start looking up oh, I can make this picture and this picture. No, you can't. You're gonna make your picture. You're gonna make the one that you're gonna make anyway, regardless of whatever camera it is. But anyway, I'm in research mode and I'm looking at all this stuff and I look at the pictures and I go, that's a little too perfect for me. Like that's literally the first thing I thought. I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, there's something missing. And it's probably the imperfections that I add to the process, but that's also kind of me. Like if I pull back the camera right now, you're gonna see everything but what's in the frame is like a hot mess. It's a creative zone, as it were. I feel like this camera, it is me, it gets me. I'm making something that is very distinctly me every time. If I digitize it and I start cleaning things up and trying to make it too digital or too perfect, it doesn't become as much me. It becomes like more clean, more perfect. And the more I work on it like that, the less I like the image. I don't like pictures that are too perfect. And with so many things that I personally can do wrong with this simple device, it's not going to be perfect. And that's something I've always been drawn to in my own work, in personal interactions, and just all around. I really dig that human aspect to things. And I think large format really gives that to me. Even if there comes a day where they have a large format sensor that is like 4 by 5 inches or larger, so not just a CMOS sensor that's tiny and lots of resolution, but a big old sensor that it's just awesome and it beats large format in every conceivable way. If I still can't load it into a film holder and use the camera the same way I use it, AKA give me a chance to muck it up and leave my mark on it, I don't know that I'm gonna be about it. So that's why I'm really into large format. Why are you into large format? What got you into it? Is it inertia? You've just been doing it forever and that's gonna be it? Or, I get a lot of letters from folks saying that they're migrating back to large format. Why'd you move back? There's so many other easy, convenient things you could do. What brought you back into large format? This is the conversation I wanna get going. So if you can, leave a comment down below and let me know why you're into large format. This will be a good first step into introducing the community to one another. I want to know who's watching this, but also where they're at. Where they're at technically, but also where they're at with the camera. Do you feel comfortable with it? Why are you into this? That's something I want to learn more about from you guys at home. If you have any long form questions or any cool stories, let me know too. largeformatquestions@gmail.com. And we'll catch you next time for more LFF.